Good morning. Welcome to your daily weather briefing at 10 a.m. We have rainy conditions out there this morning as well as some windy conditions. We have a wind advisory currently in effect. We'll remain that wind advisory most likely through tomorrow afternoon, as we'll have a nor'easter off the coast. That's going to allow for us to have strong northeasterly winds throughout the day, and then northeasterly to northerly winds tomorrow. We have this rainfall throughout the remainder of the morning hours into the afternoon hours, and then we'll finally see a break in the moderate rain once we move into late afternoon hours. Just seeing some light rain and drizzle by the evening hours today. Looking at our conditions the last 24 hours across the Mid-Atlantic region, saw fairly warm temperatures across the area yesterday compared to today. Here at Wallops we saw 60 degrees, Richmond at 64 degrees, other locations in the lower 60s to upper 50s in general. Salisbury at 58 degrees yesterday. Across region last night, we did have those northeasterly winds take over, vecting in a colder air mass across the area. Baltimore down to 35 degrees last night. Here at Wallops, we are at 42. Most of the locations in the lower 40s to upper 30s. I've seen that rainfall spread across the Mid-Atlantic region, especially across the southeast portion of the Mid-Atlantic region this morning. And over the last 24 hours, last night into this morning, Langley picked up 91/100ths of an inch, and that was the most rainfall we've seen across the Mid-Atlantic region. Norfolk was just behind at 9/10. Here at Wallops, we saw just over a half an inch at 54/100ths. Locations off to the north and off to the west haven't really seen that much precipitation this morning, but are seeing some light rain or wintry mix as of 9 a.m. And speaking of 9 a.m. obs, we are seeing anywhere temperatures from the lower to mid 40s into the mid 30s across the northwestern portions of the Mid-Atlantic region this morning. Here at Wallops, we are 43 degrees with rain. Saw some heavy rain just before the 10 o'clock ob this morning, so seeing that periods of heavy rain across the region. Seeing a little bit of wintry mix across the north and western portions of the Mid-Atlantic region, as I mentioned, with Baltimore reporting 35 degrees with some light rain and ice pellets across that region this morning. Looking at our sounding from this morning, we have a freezing level at 8,400 feet. Our winds are northeasterly at 30 knots in the low levels. It's providing us with that breezier condition at the surface this morning. Seeing our winds becoming southeasterly to southerly, and then finally we'll see our winds increasing with height and becoming west-southwesterly at 80 knots this morning at 25,000 feet. Looking at our surface analysis as of 12Z this morning, we have a surface boundary across the Virginia-North Carolina border, as well as a weak area low pressure starting to ride along that boundary. Have a fairly strong high to the north, and this complex area low pressure across the Tennessee Valley extending just off our coastline, that's providing us with these stronger northeasterly winds and also that rainfall, as we have a weak area low pressure, as I mentioned, riding along this boundary. Looking at our prog charts in the next few days, we'll have rainfall throughout, as I mentioned this morning, into the afternoon hours. You can see that wintry precipitation across the northwestern portions of the Mid-Atlantic region. It's going to be slowly sliding down towards the DC area for this afternoon. We move into the nighttime period on Tuesday into Wednesday morning. We'll be seeing this area low pressure starting to develop off our coast, with an area high pressure building down from the north, giving us some cooler air into the region. Also have an area low pressure still off over the Appalachian Mountains into the Tennessee Valley, that's going to be providing energy for this area low pressure off our coast to redevelop as we move into our Wednesday morning into our afternoon. You can see here the rain snow line starting to creep south across the central portions of the Delmarva Peninsula by Wednesday morning. Then we move into Wednesday afternoon and evening. We'll be seeing this area of low pressure develop and become quite strong off the Mid-Atlantic coast, allowing for all areas of the Delmarva to change to snowfall, and could be seeing some accumulating snowfall, which I'll be getting into a little bit later in the brief. And looking for our Thursday afternoon, we'll have an area high pressure starting to build in from the Great Lakes region. Still going to have a fairly tight pressure gradient across the area. You see these lines of these isobars across the area. They're still fairly tight. It's going to allow for us to have a northwesterly wind, possibly approaching 25 knots on our Thursday afternoon. That's also going to allow for our sea state to remain elevated for our possible USIP launch on Thursday morning. Looking at our risk chart for today, we'll have a red condition for rainfall throughout this afternoon into the evening hours, and then we'll have orange for the early overnight hours and the late evening hours, and then we'll pick up a red once again for the late overnight hours into the early morning hours from 4 to 8 o'clock on Wednesday morning. Our temperatures are going to be around the 43-degree mark this morning. Into the early afternoon hours, we'll see those temperatures dropping in the lower 40s, so our high today will be in the morning at 43 degrees. Seeing those temperatures dip down in the lower 40s into the upper 30s for our evening, and then finally by tomorrow morning we'll start to see that temperature drop off into the 37 to 38 degree range. Seeing our winds gusting up to 45 miles per hour today, with our peak winds during the afternoon hours of northeast 20 to 25 knots, gusting to 39 knots from 12 to 1600 local. Then moving into the nighttime period, we're going to be seeing northeasterly winds anywhere from about 15 to 25 knots sustained and gusting upwards into the upper 30s. Looking at our 24-hour terminal forecast, just around 10 o'clock this morning we had some heavy rain in the area. I see that moderate rainfall continue and a chance of some light rainfall through about 2 o'clock this afternoon, and then after 2 o'clock this afternoon or 1400 local we'll see primarily a sky of overcast at 1,000 feet with light rain with a chance of some moderate rain from 1400 local to 1700 local. And then we move into the overnight time period, going to be seeing our ceilings around 5 to 600 feet, and we're also going to be seeing that light rain or drizzle. And then by tomorrow morning at Wednesday at 8 local we'll be seeing a overcast deck at 800 feet with some light rain and a possibility of some light rain and also light sleet mixing in after we get past about 10 or 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. One other risk I did not mention on this risk chart was the high winds. We'll be seeing red across the board, as I mentioned, with 30-some knots for our gust, and our ceilings will be a yellow throughout the time period with ceilings around 500 feet. Looking at our Wednesday into our Thursday, Wednesday is going to be overcast, windy, and cold. Rain changing to a wintry mix by late morning. Wintry mix transitioning to all snow by afternoon and evening. We'll have total snow accumulation of 1 to 2 inches, and that will primarily be on the elevated and grassy surfaces, although we'll still have some accumulation on the paved surfaces, especially during the height of the storm during the mid-afternoon hours on Wednesday. Our high will be 38 degrees in the morning with temperatures falling into the lower 30s by afternoon and evening, and we'll continue to see gusts possibly up to 45 miles an hour on our Wednesday. We'll have a red for precip and also for winds, an orange for our ceilings, and visibility under a mile with that snowfall moving in during the afternoon. For Wednesday night, we'll have overcast skies to mostly cloudy skies, breezy winds, cold temperatures, a chance of some lingering flurries early during the overnight time period. We'll have a low of 31 degrees, a yellow for precip, a yellow for winds. And then for Thursday, we'll have mostly to partly cloudy skies, breezy and chilly, a high of 46 degrees. We'll have an orange for our winds as they'll be around 25 knots during the afternoon on Thursday. Looking at our 7-day forecast, we'll have that rainfall today and the drizzle light rain overnight. We'll have our rain and snow tomorrow with a high of 38 during the morning, falling into the lower 30s during the afternoon. Thursday, for the possible USIP launch, looks like that area low pressure will still be churning the seas fairly high for our Thursday morning, as well as we'll have some blustery northwesterly winds. So not looking for a very good day for a possible USIP launch on Thursday. Then Friday and Saturday look better with temperatures in the mid to upper 40s, high pressure starting to build into the area, although we'll still have some rough seas out there for both of those days, as that area low pressure still gives us some residual swells moving towards the coast. And Sunday we look like we have another system diving down from the Plain States and the Great Lakes, with an area low pressure tracking south of the region. That'll put us on the cold sector of the storm, it looks like right now, with a possibility of some rain and snow on Sunday. So we'll continue to monitor that situation. Doesn't really look like a very big storm at this time, and looks like accumulations of any snow would be very light if there were to be any. We'll continue to monitor that system for Sunday. And then Monday looks like possibly starting a warming trend. Temperatures in the upper 40s for Monday, with possibility of warmer temperatures as we move into the middle portion of next week. We look at the details for the system that's coming up tomorrow. Here is our latest forecast as of this morning for our snow map. We have 1 to 2 inches across the Wallops region. We're going to be seeing a decent chance of some moderate to heavy snow across the region for the afternoon hours, especially after 2 o'clock tomorrow. It looks like most likely that heavy snow would occur from about 2 to 6 o'clock if it were to occur across the Wallops region, and that will be our best chance of seeing accumulating snowfall across our area. And then we move up north and west of our region, looking like we're going to be seeing heavier snowfall accumulations of 2 to 5 inches across the Salisbury area. Looks like they will switch over a little bit sooner than we will here at Wallops to all snow, possibly around 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock there. Here at Wallops, looking like we'll start to see that all snow after 2 o'clock. And we move northwest to Salisbury from about Vienna northward to Cambridge. We'll be seeing 5 to 7 inches of snowfall, so a significant accumulation of snow north and west of Salisbury, with still a decent amount of snowfall in Salisbury with lighter accumulations across the Wallops region. Moving a quick look at the surge possibilities, we'll be seeing 2 to 3 feet at the peak of the storm for our Wednesday, with possibility of minor to moderate flooding along the Atlantic coastline. Well, that's going to complete the weather briefing this morning. I hope everybody has a great day today. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 8:15 and at 10 a.m.